Well, it's 5:58, and I screwed up. And it's really my bad for not paying a little bit more attention to my ShiftSmart app. I went to the wrong Circle K. I don't know, for some reason I looked at that, and I was thinking that one, because I worked that one before, 40th Street and Southern, but I'm actually going to 40th Street and Broadway. Not the first time I've confused Southern and Broadway, but it's been a while since I've made that sort of mistake. Certainly the first time I've made that mistake regarding a ShiftSmart Circle K shift. And of course, if I was driving, like, it's a mile, it'd be nothing. You know, it'd be like, oops, well, that was dumb. Hop in the vehicle and be over there in 2 minutes and be on time. As it is, I'm walking. I checked the bus app, and the next southbound 32 doesn't show up for another 10 minutes. Well, it shows up, my bad. It shows up at 10 after. And I need to be clocked in by 10 after, or I'm considered late. So, ouch. I think I can walk a mile in a little less than 10 minutes if I walk at a brisk pace. Check the time right now. Obama phone 5 still serving, Obama phone. Yeah, it's Obama phone 5. Still serving that purpose well. Have I mentioned Obama phone 3 finally died completely? It was getting pretty bad with its screen. I dropped it and the screen was kind of glitching and kind of cracked up. But yeah, it's to the point now I can't get it to even be functioning. And that phone's not worth repairing anymore. I'm still hanging on to it. I'm hoping I can at least plug it into a PC at some point and retrieve all the data off of it, or somehow remote myself into it. But yeah, it's had a good run for a free phone, but it's no longer usable. Obama 5, on the other hand, still kicking, still got free service on it. I said it was only going to be through August, but as far as I can tell, I'm into September. 3rd of September, 6:01 a.m. And it's still... Alright, I got this guy blocking the crosswalk. I can't even say I blame him, because at some of these intersections you've got to pull into the crosswalk just to see oncoming traffic to the left. Well, it's 6:01, I just crossed Weird. And there's the next bus stop, so yeah, I'm going to make it to the Circle K within my 10-minute late window. I'll be fine. Had a funny memory come to me as I read that street sign. We're back in the day when I was a cab driver for Yellow and also for AAA, and they were radio dispatch, which I really enjoyed that. My last few stints as a cab driver, a lot of the fun was just missing, because I was just interacting with a computer terminal or a tablet dispatching the calls. But back in the day when it was all done on radio dispatch, it was sort of a camaraderie, and you could kind of feel what was going on with the rest of the fleet. It wasn't like you were just alone in your own bubble waiting for a terminal to beep and looking for the addresses on your terminal. You could hear everything that was going on with everybody, and where the business was flowing and how the business was flowing, and kind of get the feeling of the business day through whatever was being communicated by the dispatcher, because there was a lot of chatter on the radio above and beyond just addresses and calls being bid out. But I think of a couple different dispatchers who would refer to Weir Street, which I just crossed, where the guy was kind of over the crosswalk there, refer to it as weird instead of saying weird, picking up like blah blah blah, West Weird with a D. And to be fair, a lot of the residential neighborhoods that Weird goes through, they're pretty weird. Most residential neighborhoods that have Weir in it are pretty ghetto. So it was a manager I worked with last time at the store there on Southern. I'm so bummed I'm not working there. He recognized me immediately, was glad to see me back, was talking about putting me in the cooler again, which is awesome when I can spend a designated cleaning shift stocking the cooler. That's nice. I love stocking the cooler. Whereas I'm not so fond of all the cleaning. And it's extra frustrating when I'm scheduled as a merchandiser and then they just have me do nasty cleaning tasks. So it's a pleasant surprise when it gets to go the other way. And he was talking about doing that with me. And I said that yeah, I had to give my van back to my mother and I took the bus. And so I don't have my jacket. He's like, oh yeah, I got a jacket for you. And then he's going to his terminal. I was like, well, I don't have shift smart till Wednesday. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm showing him the app. And you know, it's not unusual for the communications the stores get through shift smart to be inconsistent with what comes up on my app. That happens all the time. Shift Smart's got issues. Usually what I do in those instances is I just show them my app where they can see in blue and white, blue text and a white background, the store number that they're at and the date and the time of my shift. It's like, well, you know, I'm here. This is what I follow. And he looked at it, he's like, oh, that's not my store. I'm like, wait, what? I read the store number. He's like, no, that's me. I don't know who that is. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I scroll further down on that page, and as you scroll towards the bottom, there's a little map, a little chunk of a map that kind of shows where the store is. Now, the way they put the pin with the hourly rate in the map is not always super accurate as to the location of the store, but it's enough you can get the general idea of where you're supposed to be. And as I looked at that, I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to, you know, I'm looking at it's like, no, I'm on 40th Street. See, it says right there, 40th Street. And as I looked a little closer, it's like, oh, that's 40th Street and Broadway, and you're on Southern. Oh shit, my bad. Well, apparently he knows the manager there. He knows him pretty well. And he's like, hey, well, that's fine. Just head that way. He goes, I'll call that manager to let him know you're coming. And I'm like, well, let him know I'm reliable and I don't normally make these kind of mistakes. So kind of cool. When I arrive, they're going to be not only expecting me just a little bit late, but I will have already got a vote of confidence from another Circle K manager that apparently this store manager is on a first name basis with. So that's positive. Anyway, I don't know that I have anything else of note to say. First, this puts me 2 miles away from Rob's shop instead of 1, so I'm probably not going to walk there. I'll probably take the bus when I leave Rob's shop. Hopefully the bus driver that I get on with is as understanding as the last two about my copper card not working. The first driver on the 44 is like, well, you need to call the bus company, which, yeah, I always find it funny when they say, well, you need to call the bus company, like there's a single number for the bus company, and the person that answers that phone, you know, will automatically solve my problems, because it, generally speaking, never works that way with Valley Metro. They got so many different offices and switchboards that you have to try to navigate to get through to any human person. And I'm pretty damn sure, like, the copper cards are handled by their mobility office, which I was just to recently. That's what I did to get my copper card. And I'm pretty damn sure they've got their own phone number and it's something different. And of course, why would the driver know all that stuff? I mean, it's nice they were offering to suggest stuff to me, but I really wish they'd have been more honest and said, well, I don't really know what you need to do, but go ahead and get on the bus and please resolve that as quick as you can. Is I'm aware that none of the Valley Metro bus drivers actually work for Valley Metro. All the buses are operated, as far as I know, all the buses are operated by third-party contractors, and the bus drivers are employees of those contractors and have no real direct contact with Valley Metro at all, nor they really know how operations and things like copper cards work. But yeah, the driver was super friendly, even if his advice was not particularly helpful. But I did pull out my 3 old swipe style cards, and he's like, oh, that thing's not working, just go ahead and sit down. And of course, since I knew I was taking a transfer to get, from the Route 44 to the 32 Yeah, kind of unnerving because it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this all over again. At least that time, like when I got on, I tapped it and I said, yeah, it's not working, and I don't know. I just got this, and I need to talk to my. I didn't even try to run the regular cards. I just said, this is what it's doing, and I just got this, and I need to talk to my case manager at my clinic. And he just sort of nodded and waved me back. I got a feeling they're probably dealing with a lot of that right now. This whole rolling out of the copper card has been wrought with a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding at all levels. Even, the guy in the micromobility, or the guy in the, the mobility office there at 44th Street in Washington, where I got the card and I've been there twice. I'm not sure if I vlogged about the first time, but yeah, the first time I went there, my paperwork from my clinic was incomplete, and that was super frustrating. And of course, required a trip back that was over a month ago, required a trip back to the clinic via the train to find out that a doctor was already gone, couldn't do anything about what I needed. And my case manager, Janice, she looked just so frustrated. And hey, look, we have another person sleeping in the bus stop. Amazing how they have money for fancy, expensive tattoos but can't seem to put a roof over their heads. Poor life decisions right there, and that's what that is. So, yeah. Dang, I've been recording for 12 minutes. I thought I could do this walk in less than 10. If I clock in late, I clock in late. There's worse things I could do. I lost my train of thought completely right there. Go me. Oh, so yeah, I went to went back to my case manager, and she couldn't do anything because the doctor was already gone, and just looked super frustrated about the situation. But yeah, the guy in the mobility office then told me that there'd been a lot of people showing up with incomplete paperwork like that from the mental health clinics, and that they don't seem to know what's going on, and yeah, it's just the whole situation's been kind of problematic. And I don't know how I'm going to take care of that today, but I'm definitely taking care of that today. Not like I'm planning to become a full-time bus rider again. I definitely need to resolve this no vehicle situation. But, and there goes the bus. Would it have saved me time waiting for the bus? Probably not. I think I'm going to actually walk into Circle K just a little bit faster doing this rather than being stuck in that bus, waiting for the red light for it to get across the street, and then potentially waiting for another cycle in the traffic light to cross. Anyway, I'm definitely late clocking in, but anyway, I need to deal with that. I'm gonna get back on my Chef Smart app and cross my fingers and hope that I'm close enough in the proximity here for it to shave off a couple of minutes of my lateness.